All right, hello everyone. Welcome to an impromptu evening stream. I figured, well, might as well, I got nothing else going on, so let's just fire up another stream and get some work done, I guess. Excuse me. Of course, as soon as I start talking, my throat goes. Classic. Okay, anyway. Before I get started, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale, so if you want to support my work, please check out the link in the description below. This is the main way that I'm making my money, that and my Udemy courses. Those are also linked below. Those will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine, so if you're interested, definitely check those things out. And of course, you can wishlist Gunforged too if you'd prefer to wait for a sale. Alrighty, so what am I going to be doing today, or in this stream? So in the stream earlier today, I end up making a board configuration system where I can pre-design enemy board configurations and use that in combat encounters. And so what I want to do is keep building out some of the tool that I've made for that. So I've actually done some work on this, a little bit more work on this today, where I've got all my cards. You've already seen this part from the earlier stream. But now I can put cards on the board and I can provide a file name here, test, and I can save that, and then I can go ahead and load any configurations that I want. So I can load that one I just created, or load that one. I can create a new one. So yeah, I've got saving and loading, and the nice thing is if I try to save over a file that already exists, it will give me an error, and then of course if I have my name blank, file name is blank. So all that good stuff. And what I need to do now is I need to add a little bit more functionality, which is to add the ability to specify the board dimensions here. And then also I need to, what do I need to do? I think that's basically it. If I add a little board dimensions button and then make that take effect. And then what we'll do is we'll figure out how to get these loading and cycling in the actual combat. So we're going to see if we can get some like combat progression actually happening. So yeah, we're gonna see how that works. Sorry, my spot is messy. Okay, anyway, hello Any welcome back. Great to see you as always. Hello, Sean Johnston. I've just been catching up on a bunch of your old streams and coincidentally managed to catch you actually live. Yeah, well, welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying the VODs and everything, and yeah, glad to have you here live. Let's see what we can do, right? So I need to add some controls here for changing the board size. One thing that I want to do though, because I'm getting annoyed, is I want to add some padding to this. Just a little bit of padding, get it off the edge of the screen. All right, so let's do a board dimensions now. So I'll just go ahead and, how do I want to do this? I think what I'll do is I'll just do, maybe I should use, is there a spin box is not what I want, right? Oh no, it is. Input field for numbers. Spin box is a numerical input field. It allows entering integers and floating point numbers. Okay. Dimensions. Let's do X dimension, spin box, and then Y dimension, spin box. Okay. What can we do here? Step is 1, rounded, always rounded to the nearest integer, yeah. Allow greater, allow lesser. Let's just put this down to 0 and 10. Layout, localization, I don't need any of this. I think that's basically it. So I'm going to copy these properties here and just paste those into this spin box. Oops, it also copied the position. All right, anyway, so we've got that. I'm just going to assume that I know what that means. This is a tool, so it doesn't need to be, as long as I know how to use it, then it's fine. Apply dimensions button. Apply. Okay, and then I'm also just going to, for the sake of separating these things out a little bit, I'm just going to add a control in here that's like a little bit of padding. Pretty hacky, but again, it's just a little tool for me, so it doesn't need to be fancy. Cool, so let's mark all of these as unique. So I have those. Then we can grab a reference to those things. Private spinbox, X dimension spinbox, Y dimension spinbox, node private button, apply dimensions button. How is it automatically? Is it like reading my scene file to know the names? That's crazy. Apply dimensions button dot pressed on apply dimensions pressed. Okay, board inventory component, set board dimensions, vector 2i. We need to int this. We need to int that float. Now, unfortunately, this set board dimensions is going to clear the board as well. But let's do this. When we load, we need to say name edit.text. Then we need to do, that works. Okay, look at that. AI fixed that for me. Got that in place for me. So then when I create new, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear board. I don't think I need to do this anymore. I would call set board dimensions down here to 2 and 2, and then we'll do X dimension spin box value 2, 2. That's fine. Okay, let's see if that works. Also, this needs to be saved. Is that already being saved? I think so. Yeah, it's already being saved here. Okay. So let's see what this looks like. Hello, surprise T-Rex. Back to using C# mainly in Godot. Sorry, you probably get asked this loads. Yeah, I'm just doing C#. I've got a bunch of Godot utilities and whatnot that are written in C# that make my life very easy, so I figured I'd stick with those things, you know what I'm saying? These dimensions are wrong, but if I click new, okay, there we go. So we got 2 by 2, so if I up this to 3 and I click apply, there we go. So now I can control the board size. Should only go up to 10. That's not being recentered every time, so let's do that. So on ready, I'm gonna say create new this board.center vertically, that's fine. I'm doing a lot of duplicate code here, but that's all right. Okay, so if I do this, apply dimensions, why is that not, it's not being centered. It's not being centered. Why is it not being centered? When I click apply, oh, because when I click apply dimensions, it's got to call this too. Lots of duplicate code, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. It's whatever. It's just a tool. Okay, so now if I do this, apply dimensions, that's nice and centered. Can go up to 10. What happens if I try to enter like A in here? Does that work? Oh no, it just doesn't let me. Okay, very nice. So yeah, so I can control this now. So I can do 2 and 2 like so. So let's actually create a couple of easy ones. So I'm going to start with a single. Why is this erroring? Value cannot be null. Is that the execution card stats 73? Card stats 73. Make dummy execution context. Get opponent board of player board. Oh, right, because the player board is, okay. Player board, not equal to null, null. Oh, this isn't even doing anything. Okay. Rather than try to figure out why that's not doing anything, I'll just delete it. I think that should fix the error. Nope, it didn't fix the error. Why didn't it? Same issue. Execution context 21. Source board, player board, board. Oh, I gotta do this. I don't think that error is super important to resolve, but it's nice, I suppose. I don't need this screen to work in this place anyway. Okay, so let's keep it 2 by 2. And we'll just place a villager here. And we will call this... I actually don't know how I want the naming convention to work. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to call the files here. Like what kind of file ID that they're gonna have. And I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do. I'm thinking about doing like a difficulty window where I have like a, let's say that I have a combat difficulty score that goes from 0 to 100. And I somehow calculate that. It could just be an arbitrary calculation as the game progresses, like the combat score just keeps going up by a certain amount. So the combat difficulty score as it goes up, and then have each predefined combat encounter here occupy a range of combat difficulties. So if I have, let's say, a bunch of these that occupy the combat difficulties of 0 to 10, and I'm on combat difficulty 7 or whatever, and then I have some other ones that are like 5 to 10 or 5 to 12, then I could say, okay, get all of the combat boards that overlap in this difficulty level, and that actually would potentially increase the number of combat boards available, or potential board configurations, rather than having like okay, these combat boards are at difficulty 1, and then these combat boards are at difficulty 2. I could like blur the lines a little bit and have some potential for lower difficulty ones to be chosen at higher difficulty and higher difficulty ones to be chosen at lower difficulty, but not like within reason, right? Something that's still beatable. And I wonder if I could do that based on, if I could like assign a score to the strength of the player board or something. I don't know. But anyway, I need to figure out how I actually want to call these things. I'm just going to call it like 1 for now, which is not super useful, but I'll just click save, and then I'm going to create a new one. And let's see. Oh, I shouldn't have used, hold on. Should I be using villagers? I'm not really, oh, you know what? I don't have a way of clearing cards from the board right now, which is kind of bad. So maybe I should add that first. Maybe I should add that first. Show inspector. So here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to set it into, so let's do public bool is tool mode, like so. I'm going to do a signal, public delegate void right click event handler. I'm going to say tool right click, tool mode right click event handler. Then what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to say if is tool mode emit signal, signal name dot tool mode right click else. So we're just going to disable the inspector. Yes, we'll do that. So I'm not going to disable the inspector for the gallery of cards that I have on the left hand side, but I will disable the inspector for cards that are on the board. And the reason is because then I'm going to use that to clear the card. So when a card gets added to the board here, card stats dot card node dot tool mode right click on card tool mode right click, I need to pass in the card stats there. And I also need to say card stats dot card node dot is tool mode equals true. On card tool mode right click, on card tool mode right click, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say remove card from grid, from board, I guess. Board cards dot remove card stats. board inventory component try remove card stats, and then card stats dot. Okay, and then I can actually do this, I think. Shoot. Well, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna call remove card from board card stats. Okay, let's see if that works. Friendly neighborhood water check. We got water here. It's either water or vodka, you decide. Friendly neighborhood water check. Welcome, Roger. Okay, so we'll load 1. So now if I right click this, it's gone, and I should put another card there. Excellent. Okay. And if I save this, I just want to make sure that that saves correctly. It is saving correctly. Cool. All right, so now we have the ability to remove cards. Cool. So I'm just going to start by using a skeleton here. We'll save that. Okay, let's click new. We'll keep it as a 2x2, except here we'll do a, let's see. We'll do a scarab and something that's not too difficult. A scarab and a bell. And we'll save this as 2. Okay, and then let's do, let's click new again. Let's do 3. We'll do a bunch that are just like these 2x2 configurations here. Let's do a lamb bone ring and, actually, I kind of want to do Corvid incense. Save. Okay, so let's create a new one now. Let's up the dimensions a little bit. Apply dimensions. So now we've got this. I'm just going to make this one 4. Save it there. New. Let's do 3 again. Apply dimensions. Oh, why are these not? My cards keep disappearing. Okay, hold on. Why is that happening? Did I not fix that? Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Why are those not being restored? Did I just break that all of a sudden? This should be like an infinite. Okay, that's not working anymore. Interesting. On card placed. Card stats to container. It's clearing it here on create new. Oh, that's not good. Why am I clearing card stats to container? I forgot why I'm doing that. I don't think I should be doing that. I don't know why I'm clearing that. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, let's try again. I do not think that's necessary. Okay, so now I should have an infinite source of these nodes. So let me just make sure. So I've got my, okay. So let's let's do another 3x2. Apply dimensions. 3x2, let's do, so I already did that. Let's do an axe and a skeleton. I think this should be 5. Yeah. 6. Mutton. Let's put 2 corvids on the board. Why not? Okay, I think we can move up now. Oops. It's got 3x3. Okay, so let's do, we can do a lot of stuff with 3x3 now. So let's put an alembic here. Let's put a bell here. And phylactery is 5 turn. Oops. I need to remove the highlight if a related card gets freed. We'll do like a little poison build here. Save. Oh, I hope I didn't. Whatever. New. 8. 3x3. I should really keep the dimensions that already existed when I clicked new. Might do that. Create new. Let's see. Board inventory component. Set board dimensions. I was just finishing the other stream and I see this. Welcome back, Jackie Daytona. Good to see you. So let me see. What do I got here? So 7. Okay, so I did like a poison build here. So let's do new. We can do a shield build. What does this one do? Adds 2 preserve per allied ritual card. So now we can add some ritual cards here. Incense is ritual. The bell is a ritual. That's a ritual, but that can't fit. Ah, shoot. Per allied ritual card. So might as well just do like an incense here and maybe a scarab. Okay, and this should be what, 8, I think? Yeah, it's not gonna let me, if I try to save over 7, it won't let me do that. So the way that I'm handling that is, this is the file name, and so what it does is if it detects if the file name has changed, it will delete the old file and then write to the new file name. But then the question is, how do you prevent it from writing or deleting a file that already exists? And the way I'm doing that is I actually have an ID being stored in each of these JSON objects. It's just a nano ID. And so the way I do it is I just check, okay, if the file I'm writing to already exists and has a different ID, that means that it's a unique file and it's not this configuration. It's not this configuration identified by this identifier. And so that means that we have to block that operation. So this is gonna prevent me, like, I figured I would do some kind of naming like this where it's just numbers, and so if I lose track and I accidentally overwrite 8, it's not going to let me do that. So I don't really have to worry that much about it. So let's save that. Okay, let's do a new one. 9. We probably don't need to design that many. I'm probably going overboard here, but that's fine. Let's do that and an axe, and then we might as well make this one kind of tough. Let's do 2 heals, make it real nasty. And then I can leave some open spaces on the grid too. It just kind of, I don't know, just a little bit of flair, I suppose. Save that. Okay, so in just a matter of minutes, I've created several board configurations here. So this is nice. So now the question is, how am I gonna cycle through these? I wonder if I should assign a difficulty number to it. So if I just say this should exist in difficulty bands, you know, 10 to 15 or whatever. Like I said, if I come up with a combat score of like 0 to 100, and then I say this board configuration can occupy this range of combat scores, that might be overcomplicating it though. I almost wonder if I could do something simpler, like just use the board area. Just use the board area as like a, you know, if it's a 3x2 board, then use 6 as the combat number and then kind of group the board areas together. Do I want to do that? Let's see. 3x... Do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? I guess there's a question, do I want to, how often do I want to increase the enemy board area? That's the question. That seems broad. Yeah, just the board area. Yeah, I mean, it's, the board area is kind of like a soft limit on the power of the board, so I figured it might be a good proxy because, you know, it's like the power of your board is kind of dependent on the number of cards you have and also the synergy of the cards. So I guess what board area doesn't really capture, it's like I said, it's like a rough proxy for the power. Like a larger board is just as a general rule going to be more powerful than a smaller board. But there may be some situations where that's not the case. That's a good question. Could lead to cases where a 3x3 is easier than a 3x2 just because of the picked cards. Maybe simulate like 100 turns of the board and rate it by how much damage and healing happens. Bit more involved though. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. I mean, I think I could. I don't even know. I might not even need to simulate it. I think I could just do a straight up calculation based on the board abilities, but I do want there to be some variety too. Like I do want it to be possible that because you have to keep in mind too that there's going to be a variety of player builds as well. There are going to be player builds that handle higher enemy DPS better than other player builds. Like if you're a player build that has a lot of healing and shielding, then you can handle higher DPS things. But I guess there could be other situations where the player's building differently. And like, I guess the point I'm getting at is that there are going to be some player builds that find certain board configurations easier than other player builds. And I still want there to be some variety. Like I said, where you could technically get a board that's a little bit weaker than the board you just fought as an opponent, but against certain types of player builds that may not be the case, right? It may not actually be weaker against certain types of builds. So I think I'll just try to do something very straightforward for now. I'll try to do something very straightforward. What would that look like? Do I just want to assign a difficulty score to it? So this goes from 4 to 6 to 9. I actually don't know. I actually don't know what I want to do here. I don't want to overcomplicate it this early, but I also don't know what I'm doing. So there's a conundrum here. All right, I think what I'll do is I'm just going to go with my initial hunch and assign a difficulty score to it. And this is just going to be an arbitrary value, I think. Oh, I'm running out of space. Ooh, I'm running out of space. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to commit what I have actually. Work on board configurations. Okay, so let's delete this control. Let's do another HBox container. Let's move this down. Shrink end, shrink end. Name, edit, save button. We're gonna put these things down here instead. Oh, I shouldn't have deleted that control. That's okay. What? That was weird. Okay. Anyway, so copy these, paste those here. This will be the min difficulty score. I'm going to give it a range. These will have to be tweaked, I'm sure. Okay, these, why are these longer? Oh. Something went wonky when I was copy and pasting. Okay, so these, we're gonna make these max values 100. Step is 1, cool. All right. Oh, I should call these spin box. Let's see if the AI gets it correct. Node, private spin box, min difficulty score spin box, max difficulty score spin box. This is going to be relatively easy, I think, because all I have to do now is do the board configuration model. And what I'll do is I'll just add the min difficulty score and max difficulty score. And then those things can be loaded. So load min difficulty score spin box is equal to loaded board configuration model dot min difficulty score. This, oh, dot value. Okay, so there's that. And then when I save it, perfect. Thank you, AI. So I'm gonna have to, well, I guess I don't have to resave all those things, but let's sort of play around now with it a little bit. Let's see if that works. Also, when I do create new, I think that these should be set to 0. Hello, Christopher, welcome back. Are you shocked that I'm streaming again? Oh, I should probably add. Difficulty score. All right, let's load 1. We're gonna set this to 0 and 5. Save. Load 2. I'm gonna actually just make sure that that works. Yep, that works. Okay, load 2. Oops. Ah, dang it. Load 2. I keep accidentally deleting that. This one actually has a little bit higher of a difficulty score. So I'm gonna do, I don't know, I'm just kind of guessing. 3 to 7. Save, load this. Corvid incense, let's do 2 to 6. I'm just like fudging these. This one is definitely like 4 to 9. I don't know what the difficulty curve is actually going to look like either, but this one is like 7 to 12. Let's do 10 to 15 for this one. We're gonna see. I mean, this is why we're doing this, 12 to 18. Okay, so are all these difficulty scores correct? So again, this doesn't have any specific number. This is just a heuristic, and this is going to be something that I'm going to have to tweak or maybe find an algorithmic way of determining. But there's a window, this min and max here, and what I'm going to do is there's going to be a value of the combat difficulty that's tracked by the run manager, and we'll just say that it increments by 1 every combat encounter. It's probably going to need to do something like I don't know, I'm gonna have to play with these numbers based on how quickly the combat score grows. But the other thing that I could do as well is I could actually make the combat difficulty ramp up higher the better the player is doing, so that they more quickly get met with a challenge. That might be some sleight of hand that I could pull behind the scenes, but we'll just do a constant combat difficulty increase after every combat encounter. And then what I'll do is I'll just grab all of the board configurations where the range falls within that combat score. And then I can, so there's like a fuzzy blending. So it's not like, oh, the first combat encounter, these are all of the potential configurations. And then the second combat encounter, these are all the potential configurations. It's like, depending on your combat score, it may be the case that, it's your second combat, but maybe you are going to get up an item that's more commonly chosen with the third combat encounter, and I could do, the interesting thing about that combat score is, like I said, I could increase or decrease the rate at which it grows based on player performance, but I could also do things like make the combat difficulty increase when you create a powerful card, right? Obviously we want the player to feel powerful, but it could also, like, there could be detrimental effects to it too, like hidden detrimental effects, or maybe not hidden, but I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. I don't know. But anyway, let's actually start working on this system that gets this working. So we got the board configurations here saved. So add difficulty. So now we need to make a way of fetching those things. What are these little card configurations? Yeah, so this is just, I'm making pre-made combat encounters because the algorithm approach is a little bit too difficult. It's much easier for me to just hop in and use my brain to design the combat encounters than it is to try to get the AI to make intelligent combat encounters. And what I mean by AI is just like the game AI. And I think that's fine. And I think it's fine, because then I can just go in, I have this tool now where I can just quickly load up a board size, throw a bunch of cards in that make sense, that have a synergy together, and then say, yep, that's one of the encounters that a player can encounter. It's surprising, yeah. I'm animating a walk cycle. Interesting. Walk cycles are they as difficult as everyone makes them sound? Do you have anything special to get good IntelliSense, Godot IntelliSense in VS Code? Well, I'm using C#, so the intelligence tools for C# are just generally better. I don't know if you're talking about GDScript or C#, but I'm also I'm using Cursor, which gives you like super IntelliSense, where it actually like uses AI to predict to the next lines of code that you want to write, which is pretty handy. All right, so what I need now is I need some kind of loot table here. Let me think. Let me think. So this is combat encounter. So let's do this. Private int. Let's do a float. Combat difficulty score. This create enemy board is no longer... Where's this called? Combat difficulty score plus equals. I'm just going to go by 2 each time for now. Create enemy board. Where is this called? I don't know why this is here, but we'll keep it, I suppose. I don't need this line anymore. So this create and populate doesn't really need to be here anymore. So I'm going to take this, put it here. Okay. So this is really the line of code that we need to replace. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just create a new node. I've got this card loot table manager, so I'm gonna do enemy board configuration manager, I think. So let's create a new scene. Board configuration manager. This probably doesn't need to be... Does this need to be its own node? I'll just implement it as a node. I'm doing all the managers as nodes, so. Save. Scripts. So what's interesting here is I think what I want to do is I want to public void public board configuration model pick board configuration based on the combat difficulty score. What I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to create a loot table. There's a new dynamic loot table. Board configuration model. For each, var board configuration in board configuration registry dot all IDs. So board configuration ID. Config is equal to... Come on, AI, you wrote this code. I know that's not how it works. From ID, board configuration ID. If combat difficulty score is greater than or equal to min and max, then we're going to say loot table.add item config with a weight of 1 is fine, I think. Okay, so then we have the loot table, and then we're just going to do return loot table.pick item. So it's a little bit, I guess it's a little bit overkill to use a loot table here, but so we're constructing a loot table. We're getting all of the potential board configurations. We're iterating over all of them. And then we're sorting them, or we're just only adding them to the loot table based on their combat difficulty scores being in range. And then we're just picking one of them. So in here, what I'm going to do is, let's do this. Private enemy board configuration manager. Down here, var board configuration, pick board configuration based on the combat difficulty score, and then we'll do board configuration in here. Is enemy true? Okay. All right. I wonder if I should just, for safety, I should probably move this down here so that anything that's connecting to signals gets connected first. And then we'll do the enemy board.center vertically after that because it's going to be changing the dimensions potentially. Okay, let's see if it works. Run manager, instantiate enemy board configuration manager. Boom. All right, let's go. I'm still learning, but a basic walk cycle is pretty well known. Key poses. Oh, very nice. And it's mirrored for half the animation. Well, that's good. Save some work. Okay, so that looks like a valid configuration. So I'm going to do this and that. Let's go. Cool. All right, let's see. What do I want? More ritual cards. Ooh, snake. Yes, let's take the snake. Alchemy, I'm gonna skip this. Okay, we got this one again, which I think is correct. I gotta change how the player... Oh, you know what? That's not an optimal grid configuration, but that's all right. Cool. Ooh, more minions? Oh, what's this? Ritual. I think this is a... No, this is a ritual. I'll hold on to this. Let's see. Alchemy. I'll skip this, like I said. 3 in a row? You've got to be kidding me. 3 in a row, that doesn't sound right, does it? Well, let's just fight this one again. We'll see.
Welcome home, Columbia. Beautiful, beautiful. Discovery 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
If it does it again, then there's probably a problem. Scarab, yes. Okay, now we've got a little bit more difficult. So I think this is just something that I'll need to tweak a little bit, but yeah. Anyway, so can I optimize this? I think I can. Let's do, oh no, I can't. Can I? Oh, maybe I can. Hold on. If I do this, 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 this. There we go. Begin. Obviously, the enemy health isn't increasing either. I think I will drive the enemy health in a more algorithmic way. Although, maybe it would be helpful to design the enemy health by hand too. That's a good question. This one again. Why is it only choosing... Am I doing something wrong, config? Let's do this. I'm not convinced that that's working correctly. Is there really only one configuration that works for the 0 case? Ooh, get 2 heals. So I added 1, 3, and 4. Ooh, this is gonna be a tough one. Okay. Apply 2 poison. Begin. I'm glad I took that heal. Oh yeah, that chunks me. Oop, I got the heals though. Sweet. Let's do more. Oh, I don't have a minion option here. Okay, do more ritual cards. Bell. Let's do a bell. Okay, this is feeling pretty good. I'm already getting some progression in here. Echo if there's no 2 Corvids, so. Corvid didn't stand a chance. I kind of want to take this, put that here, put that there. Another Viper. So let me look at the... I wonder if I should do... I think I need to get the player's board progression in place because the player shouldn't start with a 3x3 board, I don't think. And I need to present an ability for the player to grow their board. I think that would be one of the events, probably. More minion cards, more relic cards. This is kind of fun already, though. Super basic, but it's kind of fun swapping in and out the cards and, like, organizing them. Ooh, am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? No, I'm not. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. That's close. More alchemical cards. Let's just see how far I can go. Alchemical ritual embalm. My... Do I want to do more damage? Get rid of the bell. What does the bell do? Reset the cooldown of the enemy minion card with the least turns remaining. So if I do the... Oh, wait, I don't get any extra benefit from that. Put that there and then there. Yep, yep. That works. Now what? Oh, no. I forgot. I can't just flip the sprites. I'm gonna need to mark if the sprite is flippable or not, I think, in the card definition resource. Okay. Anyway, let's see what happens. This is... Oh, this one might actually be tricky. Hold on. Unless I out DPS it immediately. Oh, yep. Goodbye. You didn't even get a turn. Okay, obviously I'm gonna want to increase the enemy health there. And increase... So player health... How do I want to do this? So player board needs to be increased over time. Player health needs to be increased over time. I think I'm going to make that available. I want to make like the progression system. I have this... I think ideally what I would like to do is make all of the players' progression tied to a choice that they can make. So here, you're getting cards all the time. But then like here... What I want to do is I want to, like, these are 3 events that I've come up with here. Enchant, Alchemy, Shop. But the other thing that I want to do is, if I have more events, like, oh, well, here's a way to increase the size of your board, or this event will just give you plus X amount of health. So, like, you really have to make a choice, because you can only choose one, right? So you might get an option where it's like, oh, there's a shop, but also there's alchemy, but also there's, I can grow my board. And it's like, what do I want to do? You know, I need health, but I really want to do the alchemy. So I think what I want to do is just like not give the player any sort of like automatic progression and just like let the player choose, do I want more health? Do I want a bigger board? Do I want to go to the shop and spend some of my money, which I don't have yet in the game? The alchemy is super powerful because I can combine 2 cards together, which I might just do for the sake of demonstration. Well, no, I want to see how far I can get with just this build here. Okay, this build again, so we're going to go ahead and do this. YouTube has a good reference. Oh, for the walk cycle. So now I'm just collecting. Ooh, what happens if I run out of space? I need to have a way of selling things. That might have to come sooner rather than later. Okay, this one's going to be a tough board. Let's see what happens. I should be able to out DPS it. Because I've got the same amount of DPS as them, I think. Or I got more DPS, but they've got healing. Oof. this is pretty fun. Now that I've got a loop in place, I can definitely see this being a lot more fun as soon as I add just more depth to it. As soon as these options become real and the enemies actually become tougher. I don't remember. Oh, am I already at the end? How many? I have 9, yeah. I've only got 9. Let's just keep going. So this is, yeah, this is the last board. Okay, cool. Okay, so there's a lot of places to go from here. I think that the pre-made configurations are feeling good though. Oh, I need to make the screen shake right there. Okay, let's do just a couple of random things here. Firstly, get rid of that. Don't need this populate enemy board anymore. Yeah, I think a lot of this though, like it's feeling good. I like how it's turning out. I just need to figure out like a good way of making it feel nice. And I think what I should do next is do like a really concerted effort on adding some progression elements into the game. This is going to be tough, actually. My mind is going a million different places right now. Okay, anyway. We're going to try to tackle one problem at a time. But there's a couple of random things I want to do real quick. So, pull enemy. Okay, so we're going to pull the enemy boards from the configuration files instead. Okay. And the game, I mean, this game could get pretty crazy because if I'm trying to think of how I want the board growing to work. Initially, what I had wanted to do was add one cell at a time. The problem is it's either going to be one cell at a time or like 2 cells at a time or whatever. Or add like a new row or a new column. Doesn't necessarily need to be controllable by a player though. It could just be like a grow your board and then it just grows whatever the smallest dimension is. So like in this case, if I chose grow my board, it could be adds a new row. Yeah, adds a new row. So it becomes a 3x4 or yeah, 3x4. And then the next time you do grow, it becomes a 4x4. That might be the way to do it. I could also support adding, like having the player select where they want to add their cards. Or add their grid cells. Wow. Add their grid cells. The problem with that though is that I mean, that's supported by the code. It's just like these little ornaments and whatnot. So if I just add like one cell here, just jutting out, then I got to make sure the ornaments work real nice with that. which would be kind of cool, but then it would be kind of weird if none of the enemy boards had that either, and so I'd have to design a bunch of enemy boards that way. I don't think I need to overcomplicate it just yet. Maybe I'll just, for board growing, it'll just add either a row or a column based on what the smallest thing is. Because if I gave the player control over it, then what you would do is you would just add a row or a column depending on which one has more cells, right? So if you had a 3x6, right? Well, you would make it a I don't know. Maybe I'm too tired. I think you know what I mean. It's like you would just do whatever places the most cells on your grid. Yeah, so if this was like really long, if this was 6, you would just put a whole another column of 6 here because you get 6 more cells as opposed to 3. Whereas if I just grow it for the player and it just alternates between like having an even number of equal dimensions, so like 4x4 and like 4x5 and then 5x5 and then 6x5. I think that's the way to do it. So I'll start with that. I can make it more complicated later if I want. So that's what I'll do for the board growing. I'm just talking out loud here. I don't know. I don't know if this is interesting at all, but I'm trying to figure this stuff out. So I think I'll do that. And then what was the other question? I don't remember. Okay, let me handle the things that I wanted to handle, which is the sprite flipping needs to be determined based on a flag. So if I go to my card definition resource, I want to put like a flag in here that allows it to be flipped. And then I want to add some camera shake to the unearthing animation. I think that would be really cool. Okay, but I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break before I do that. And then when I get back, we will continue on with this work. In the meantime, check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways that you can support me. And give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back. And we'll continue on with this random stuff that I'm doing. Okay, so in this card definition resource, what I need to do is public bool is flippable. I'm actually going to turn this off by default because really the only things that I want to flip are like entities like the skeleton and whatnot. So let's do this. So is flippable. Where in the world is this actually being flipped? Flip horizontally. If horizontally flip cards and card stats dot base card dot card definition resource is flippable. Oh, you know what? I actually don't think resource duplication is weird. I think it automatically duplicates the export properties, but whatever. It's fine. Okay, so now I need to go and build and then go through. Oh, well, that builds it, I guess. I need to go through and build and then select all the things that should be flippable here. So let's do this. Alembic is definitely not flippable. I actually don't like the order of this either. Okay, so is flippable. Is flippable. We might as well make that flippable. Why not? Bell, it doesn't matter. Corvid doesn't matter. Embalming fluid doesn't matter. Incense doesn't matter. Lambo and ring doesn't matter. Mutton, no. Phylactery. Scarab doesn't matter. This should be flippable. Villager should be flippable. Viper should be flippable. So anything that has some kind of directionality to it, I think, so that should be all fine. So let's just run this real quick and make sure this is working well. Kerblam. So that's working. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with this. So yeah, the little implementation detail here is that the player always goes first. So even if your DPS is exactly equal to the enemy, you'll always win the encounter. Hello, Craig. Welcome back. Cool to see some late streams. Yes, indeed. Although I am very tired for some reason. I don't know. A wave of tiredness just hit me. It just hit me out of nowhere. Anyway. Okay, so let's go to my booster. Booster. Here. So the dig animation. So when it first hits. So I almost need like a... I don't like these animation player changes. For some reason my snapping keeps getting turned off. Maybe it was like that before, I don't know. So right here... Shovel hit trigger. Game camera dot shake. 0.75. And then dig, we'll do game camera dot shake 1. Build. All right, let's see if that works. You're gonna have to sit through this combat, I guess. Sit through the combat again, that's fine. Let's see if that works. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Yep, we got a lot more chunkiness now with the camera shake working there. All right, cool. That was just a random thing that I wanted to do. Okay, there's one other thing I want to do, which is that I still have... Let's say, yeah. Fix card flipping and add... Okay. What am I doing? I already lost my train of thought. Oh, there's these card hover effects that I was using that are no longer useful. They're just kind of annoying now, so I'm gonna remove those. Anything that's relating to this skew. So we're gonna get rid of skew, rotation, get rid of all those, and that will reveal where these problems are. Update hover effect, gone. Wait, do I need to do that? Yeah. Update hover effect. Just get rid of all these things. Is that it? Is that all I needed to do? Oh, that's interesting. When I'm dragging, should probably disable that too. Anyway, one thing at a time. So I'm actually kind of curious to see if I can implement an event that grows the player board. Remove card hover effects. So in my run manager, player board inventory component dot set dimensions, new vector 2, or no, let's just do vector 2 I dot 1 times 2. Center vertically, that's fine. So let's add an event that allows the player to grow the board. Let's keep the event type enchant here, but let's do let's just add a grow board one. We'll put this here. Set event type. Labeled dot text is equal to event type switch. Event type dot grow board. Grow. I don't know what to call this. Otherwise, we'll do event type dot toString. Okay, that works. On event selected. So I go here. On event selected. Selected event type. Case event type dot grow board. Var, this is all wrong. I'm gonna say var if dimensions dot x is less than dimensions dot y. So dimensions dot x plus plus. Can I do that? Yeah. Else if... Do I want to grow the x first? Maybe if I just do this. If dimensions dot y is less than dimensions dot x, dimensions dot y plus plus. Else, I think we can just increase the dimensions dot x here. Set board dimensions to dimensions. Player board dot center vertically. Okay, so on event alchemy completed, that changes to state combat preparation. So I'm just going to do this. State machine dot change state to state combat preparation. I'm just going to do that there. And yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So now I should be starting with a really tiny board here. Got to figure out how to choose which cards to start the player with as well, but one thing at a time. Okay, grow board. It should grow in the X direction, right? Oh. I called the wrong center. It worked though. Oh. Yeah, that is a problem. Shoot. So whenever I call set dimensions on a board, it actually clears the cards. Now the reason why those cards didn't actually disappear is because the card data is separate from the card visuals, and so there's some coordination that needs to happen. I can clear card data on the board without that being reflected in the visuals in some cases, which is not ideal, but anyway. So it was as if I only had one card on the board at that point. And that's because set board dimensions clears it. So what I want to do is I want to maybe add a new method for just growing the board. I don't need to overcomplicate it. Okay. New dimensions dot x is less than dimensions dot x. So make sure that the dimensions are actually increasing. I might even add a throw new exception. Invalid dimensions for board. Grow dimensions, I suppose. Grow dimensions. And I'm just going to do this. So it's basically the same, but grow board 2 dimensions. Okay. Let's see what that does. All right, more alchemical cards. That's fine. Oh, wait. Why did I do that? Oh, no. Yeah, grow board. Boom. Okay, my board is now bigger. I'll do this just to see what happens. Okay, everything's working now. Perfect. Cool. Grow board again. So obviously this is not going to be available all the time.
Every 4 computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Ooh, I actually lost. Wow, it beat me. Wow. Okay. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. So I've got growing board in. So the grow board thing. So again, like I said, I want the player progression to be tied purely to the player's choices. You're gonna have to choose between increasing your health or growing your board. And then of course there could be a shop which is like a catch-all kind of place where you can do almost everything. You could purchase a board growth, or you can purchase a health increase, or things of that nature. I think that's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. Yeah. I think I'm really starting to see how this game is going to shape up now. Now that I've added that combat loop with the... Now that I'm generating... I'm not even generating. Now that I'm facing enemy boards that make sense, I can see this game, how it's coming together now. So it's cool. All right. It's cool. It's cool. All right, well, I'm going to cut the stream a little bit short. I don't know, bonus hour and a half stream, but I'm very tired all of a sudden, so I'm going to probably stop for the evening. But thanks to everyone for watching. Oh, I'm working on something new. Hello, Frog Cthulhu. That's a fun name. Yeah, I am. I'm working on a collectible card game, auto battler, grid inventory management thing, basically. So yeah, it's kind of a mix of like Backpack Heroes and that new game, The Bazaar, but I've also got some of my own ideas that I want to apply. I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks again, everyone, for watching. Thank you to the VOD watchers and lurkers out there as well. I know you're out there. And again, please check out the links in the description below. I'm currently making all of my money from my Udemy courses and from sales of Gunforged. So if you want to support me, you can check those out. Those are linked below. And yeah, probably I might stream tomorrow. So hit the notification bell if you want to be notified if I go live tomorrow. And otherwise, I hope you have a good weekend. And I'll see you in the next one. All right. Bye, everyone. Take care. See you next time.